wide open.
After the turnover.
He's got a man.
Harper going deep. Caught.
Happy Thursday. Well, we are now about 8.5 days away before game one, and I'm excited to see how well this season's going to go for the Huskers. As to me, you could just feel a difference this season than any other season, or at least the last 4 or 5 seasons, if you know what I mean. So make sure to subscribe and click on notifications as the season is about to begin, and you don't want to miss any breaking stories with the Huskers. Now, if you've been under a rock for the last 24 hours or so, Matt Rhule turned over the keys to his brand new offense to his talented 5-star freshman, Dylan Raiola, as he announced via social media that Raiola would be the Huskers' starting quarterback in 2024. All these multiple media sites, all that, probably glad to hear that, as Raiola was named in multiple preseason freshman All-American teams earlier this week. So it wouldn't have looked very good for any of them if Rhule named somebody else the starter and not Dylan. Now, Raiola has been taking the number one reps in every available practice and has earned the respect from not only the coaches, but his teammates as well. Raiola will make his official debut on Saturday, August 31st, when he goes under center against UTEP during that game. Now, Rhule's decision comes a little more than 9 months from when Raiola flipped his commitment to the Huskers. Now, Raiola will be the first true freshman to start at quarterback since Adrian Martinez in 2018 for the Huskers. Dylan has done nothing but impress anyone and everyone that's had a chance to witness him in practice from the time he stepped on campus. Here is a kid that shows no pressure, no nervousness, nor even fear. If it's there, he knows how to control it and how to keep it under fire. Now, how much pressure is really on him? As he's heard it for months, that he's the Huskers' savior. Supposedly, no doubt that the one that will bring the Huskers back to the promised land that we used to see. And even hearing this and the pressure that comes with this, if you've watched him, he hasn't flinched. It's like nothing bothered him. Just think you came into this and everybody's telling you you're the one. This team has struggled literally probably for over 20 years, gradually going down and down and down until where we've hit now. And now you have someone where your dad played, remembers the days when they were doing well, was a legendary player here. And then you're telling you're the answer. You come in here and you could bring them back to the promised land. You could get them back where they were. And he accepts the challenge and comes here. And he's been hearing it, social media, all the sites, the fans. And yet, when he goes out there and plays, like you saw him in the spring game, it's almost like he's playing a video game, I guess. It's like nothing bothers him. And like I said, if it does, he doesn't show it. Because if he can handle this, I mean, how many, if you'd get in there going, man, that's a lot on me. Man, if I don't do this, the whole state's going to be let down. They're going to be upset at me, whatever it would come up to be. Yet he don't feel that. He just goes on like it's nothing, like he's like taking a test or something. It's like this kid must have ice water through his veins, running through his veins. Since he arrived in January, he's done nothing but proven everything with his, knowledge of the game, his worth ethic, and just his determination to come out every day and be the best at that position, period. I mean, Glenn Thomas was even asked about Raiola. And Coach Thomas, he stated that this kid takes a humble approach to almost everything he does, and that he's just really easy to coach, and he's always willing to learn. He didn't come in here like, I'm the big 5 star, I'm better than all of you guys, I already know it. He came in here just like any other freshman, willing to learn, wanting to learn, and you could tell he even stated that this kid not only wants to be the best and wants to get better, he wants to be an elite player. Thomas responded that all three quarterbacks are very coachable and are willing to learn. And anytime you could get a combination of urgency and humility in a player like Dylan has, then you have a player that will continue to grow every day. Now, Dylan will be backed up by both Harburg and Kalen, as both will be considered the number 2 quarterback. Rhule stated that he's confident in all three of them, so he didn't specifically name one or the other as the number 2. He stated both of them would be the backup, and that's kind of how we see it. Now, Rhule was asked about the team and how he feels this team can do and what it can accomplish. What is this ceiling for this team? So basically, he was asking, how good can this team be? And Rhule stated that this team is on the verge of breaking out and winning at an elite level. He talked about last year and how bad things were last year with the injuries in key positions, the minus 17 turnover margin, which is one of the worst in the whole nation. And yet they were in every game but 2, he stated, and they lost 5 of them by a field goal or an overtime. And if you asked me, they were in every game but 1, which was the Michigan game, as I feel they were still in that Colorado game. To me, they were in that game, but the score might not show that. He talked all winter and all fall, they've been striving and coaching, and the players have been involved. I mean, not just the coaching staff, the players, and they're buying in, and it's all they've been doing is practicing and coaching to be not only to cut down on the turnovers, but to be a +7. And I feel like what I want to like, kind of what you guys tell me. How many wins do you think this team would have? Because his goal was to go +7. They were a minus 17 in turnover margin. He said they want to go a +7. Think about that. That's 24 takeaways that you would have to get to be a +7 over a minus 17. So how many wins will this team have this year if they go from a minus 17 turnover margin to a +7 turnover margin by the end of the year? How many wins do you think they could have? To me, if you do that, you've got a minimum of 10 wins, probably 11 or unbeaten. And I'm not sitting there saying they're going to do it, but think about it. If you got the same, let's just take what you had last year. The defense brings back almost everybody. 78% of the production comes back. So you should be better. But even if you just got the same as you got last year, and your special teams looks like it's going to be better because you brought in some competition in kicking, and you've seen it and you've heard it. Competition makes you grow. So you bringing in John Hull and Nico Ottomanelli, to do the kicking and to push Tristan Albano. And we've seen it. They even talked about how Tristan's done a lot better and considering the injury. And then John Hole's just been kicking the cover off the ball. So you're expecting the kicking game, and that's going to be very important when it comes to the Big Ten. As you know, these games, if you're within 3 and you're chasing 3, well, that 3 is the field goal. And how many did we miss that would have made a difference? Because I don't care. Momentum means a lot, especially in college football. And you drive down there and you turn the ball over. How many times you seen that game turn? Or the other way around, you hit that big field goal. So if you get the same thing, you get the same defense, you get a little better in, say, special teams. You're going to have Ja'Cory Barney. You got IGC back now returning, so your kick returning and punt returning ought to be better. So you combine that with now a manageable offense, an offense that not only is better because you upgraded the talent at the key positions, at the wide receiver, you got a healthy running back room, you got some elite tight ends. On top of that, you have a veteran offensive line. So let's say now you get that average, let's just say average offense, and you're a +7 with that defense and special teams. The only game you might think they could lose or probably would lose would be Ohio State. But if you're a +7, which means you're probably a plus in the Ohio State game, and if you're a plus, could you upset them? It's going to be tough no matter what. You might almost have to win 3 or 4 of the turnovers in that one game, mainly playing in Columbus. So I could say at least 10 or 11 wins, which, as you know, would probably put them in the playoffs. No doubt, probably would have put them in the playoffs. So I really hope they do that. And it was interesting to watch and listen Rhule talk about how their key is to coach every day to be +7, and that's their job to do it. Well, the next thing that Rhule was asked about was, and they discussed, was Nebraska's bowl drought, that they haven't been a bowl since 2016, but they discussed about how Nebraska had that 35-game consecutive bowl game streak. And I remember this, guys. When I started watching Nebraska, I was probably 6 or 7 years old, which was in 1969, 1970. And every year until I was in my 40s, they went to a bowl game. It wasn't a question. I always grew up them being in a bowl game. It didn't even cross my mind that they would never make a bowl. And that was a streak that when things started going down, that you worried about it, and you even thought about, is this streak to end? Oh, I don't want this streak to end. And ultimately, the 2003 game was the last one, the 35th one, before they finally didn't make a bowl and ended that. And now they're on another streak that you really don't want them to be on, and that's a losing streak of not making a bowl game now since 16. So what's that make it? 7 in a row. So that's something they have to get back on track. And I think we all think they could do it this year. So again, looking at the clock as it's counting down just over a week away, man, it's time to get pumped up, get fired up. I think we all are. I think we're excited. That's one thing about us. We get excited. No matter how the season went before, we're always optimistic and thinking, well, and this year's got a different vibe to it. Now, if you haven't checked it out already, I started a weekly podcast called the Husker Talk with Jeff, where we talk and discuss Huskers, recruiting, injury updates, and more throughout the week. What happened throughout the week. So make sure to catch those every Wednesday night right here on YouTube. And if you missed that first episode, which aired yesterday, I'll attach that video at the end of this one. And I know next week's video is going to start our season predictions going over and breaking down the opponent for that weekend's opponent that they're playing, starting with UTEP next week, as we give our analysis and prediction on how the Huskers will do. And this coming week, we'll also talk about how we feel Dylan Raiola will fare against UTEP in his first live action. How well do we think we do? And I think surprisingly he's going to do well. And I'm going to give my thoughts on that come Wednesday. So you don't want to miss that right there. Now, if you really like to see these episodes to be aired live every week, where you could be involved, giving me your response and your feedback, or if and plus any predictions that you might have for the game. As to me, it's always better to have other fans or even haters, if you're one of those, to discuss the ins and outs of Husker football. It makes it more interesting, more entertaining, and there's nothing better than a good debate on how they'll do or how they won't do. So if you want that, throw a comment below that you wouldn't mind seeing that live. Or you could, if you want, you could shoot me a email there at Jeff at bigredcountry.net as well and let me know. And if everybody or most everybody's wanting to do that, then I can start doing them live. If not, then I'll continue what I've been doing. So, like always, guys, don't forget to subscribe, click on notifications, and of course, please smash that like button. It's really appreciated. Till that next video, go Big Red.